Hi there again. We got rudely interrupted in our last video, so I hope that most of the explanation in that video was helpful, but this is part 2 of that. I wanted to do an additional problem. So one of the things that I wanted to do was to list the steps, and these I want put on an index card or on something, a sheet of paper that's in the front of your notebook. So I want to think through the steps, and then we're going to do one more problem together. So it's probably about another 5 minutes or so for you in this video. So our first step, because I'm going to give you a problem to do in just a second, and I want you to remember each of the steps. The first step is to write equation in standard form. And that's the ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Number 2, you're going to find a, b, c. Number 3, you're going to find our vertex, which is negative b over 2a. And the reason this is so important is that is the middle point for the table of values. So then when we go to our table of values, the vertex, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the vertex is going to be in here as the middle point. Okay? And then finally, once we've done the table of values, we will plot our points, and our whole goal is to determine where on the x-axis, so this is my x-axis, where on the x-axis is that parabola crossing. So we want to make sure that we have those two answers. So what I want you to do is I want you to take a few minutes, pause, and I want you to go to page 530. And I want you to do problem 22. I think I've probably given you the odds. So I want you to try problem 22. And then we're going to come back in just a second. I want you to go through each of these steps. It'll probably take you 3 or 4 minutes. Hit pause, go through the steps, and then we're going to come back and do it together. So hit the pause button and then come right back. All right, so I assume you're back and that you have finished problem 22. So I want to make sure I write it down as well. X squared plus 2x equals 3. Now, step 1, as we know, this is what your step 1 should be, writing it in standard form. So we're going to have x squared plus 2x minus 3, because we're going to subtract this, equals 0. That was step 1. Step 2 should be finding the a, b, and c. A is 1, b is 2, and c is negative 3. Do not forget to bring along that negative. Then we're going to come over here to do the vertex. X equals negative b over 2a. So we're going to substitute in. B is 2, but it's going to be negative 2 because the negative. Then 2a is going to be 2. We have x equals negative 1. That is 1 point for our vertex. Step 4. We are going to do a table of values. And this is going to be at the middle point. Negative 1. And then we're going to work others around. So 0, maybe 1, negative 2, negative 3. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to go up here, and we are going to begin to figure out what the y value would be. So if I like to do the 0 first. If I stick the zeros in, I'm going to get negative 3. if I stick the -1, this is going to give me my other vertex point. -1 times -1 is 1. 2 times -1, though, is -2. So 1 minus 2 is -1. Minus 3 is going to be -4. All right, let's go ahead with the -2. -2 times -2 is 4. -2 times 2 is going to be -4. So 4 minus 4 is 0, and then a -3. And here's where we're starting to see those mirror images. Now let's stick 1 in. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 1 is 2, so 1 plus 2 is 3, minus 3, and we have a 0. -3. -3 times -3 is 9. 2 times -3 is -6, so 9 minus 6 is 3, minus 3 is 0. And there is the other mirror image. All right, I can erase everything else now. And I am going to try to carefully, I didn't put my table of values in a very good spot. So let's see if what I'll do is I'll start over here, and as I put the point in, I'm going to erase it. So let me give myself some. All right, 1, 0. I can put that one in. How about 0, -3? I'm going to have to erase this to get 0, -3 in. So 0, -3. -1 and 4, that is our vertex point. -1, -4. That would be right about there. Then -2 and -3, right around there. Keep erasing. And -3, 0. All right, so I've put all my points in. I draw my little dots. Now, it's fine if you draw the dots. You probably need to fill them in, because when we get to inequalities, do you remember what a dotted line will mean? Yes, that's where it'll get confusing. But for right now, you can draw a dotted line. Try to fill it in as best you can. I don't tend to fill them in very well. All right. And remember, we had our little eyes, kind of have little ears here. And he's got his big old fat nose there. So we kind of have this little character going on. But what we really want to know is where his eyes are. Where are they crossing the x-axis? And in this case, it's pretty easy to figure out with our graph. The two answers are going to be 1, 0. And over here, it's going to be -3 and 0. We're not moving up or down at all, so we're just moving on the x-axis. And so our two answers are -3 and 1. That's where it's crossing the x-axis. So I hope that helped to go through that extra example and along with the other video. Again, watch those part 1 into part 2 and practice a little bit. You're looking for where the eyes are of our little figure on the graph. I am not going to post the next video until probably Tuesday. I don't want you to jump ahead. I want you to really practice with this, and I don't want you to try to do the next method until the next piece until we get this done a little bit more or understood a little bit more solidly. So anyway, give me a call if you have questions, and I will see you next time.